right, now these questions go viral all the time, right? $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z? Or which one of these billionaires would you get to help start a business for you today? Financial scenarios ultimately aimed at seeing who would take the instant gratification, who would take the lump sum, and then to see who would hold out and take the safe money. Now, these scenarios, they always pique my interest, and today I want to talk to y'all about one that I came across. All right, so this one is $1,000 per month for the rest of your life, or would you take $1 million cash right now? All right, and to make it more of a decision, here are the rules that I'm gonna add, because most people are gonna say, well,
life's short, give me the million.
Right? But I needed to go deeper than that. So with the $1,000, if you take the $1,000 per month for the rest of your life, then it can be passed down, it can be passed over, whatever you want to do. However, with the million, you have to live out a natural life in order to pass down whatever was bought or whatever was gained from that million. But if you suddenly or tragically go, and boom, you lose it all. So to kind of make it a little more fair, I threw that in there. All right, so I surveyed hundreds of people, and 90% of those people all agree on the same answer. But in this video, I'm going to explain to you why it is not as easy as it sounds on the surface. Because right, it's a no-brainer, right? If you picked $1,000 a month, it would take you about 83, 84 years for that to add up to $1 million. And most people said things like, bro, I can't even pay rent with that, which is a fact. Most places in America, you cannot pay rent with just $1,000 anymore. Bro, some people even said, bro, here in California, that's not even my gas every month, bro, which I don't live in California, but I know what them gas prices are like. And bro, I don't doubt that at all. I even had people insulting the intelligence of anybody who would pick the $1,000. So it's no secret that most people agree you definitely take that million, right? And if you watching this, if you're like 90% of people and you pick that million, let me ask you this. What would you do with $1 million right now? Most people say, hey, I'll start a business, I'll make some investments. But let's talk about that a little more, because that is actually very important. Because ultimately, that's easier said than done, but that's really the right thing to do, right? A guy I know pretty well, what he told me, he said, bro, I would take 500,000, put it in a high yield savings, and that by itself, that money would earn $12,000 a year. But what became evident to me really quickly, bro, is that most people don't have no idea what they would do with $1 million if it was handed to them tomorrow. And that by itself made me just start thinking like, bro, we learned everything we needed to learn in school except financial literacy. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, nah, bro, not me. Like, I got a master plan, bro. And I get it, because most of us do feel like that. But I want to direct your attention to this number. That's the number 70. That's the percentage of people who go broke within 7 years of obtaining wealth, according to New York Daily News. And there was a quote, and this quote always stood out to me when I first originally read that article. And the quote reads, "It is more likely you'll get struck by lightning than win the lottery. But if you do win, there is an even greater chance that you'll go broke." Now, let's ask ourselves, why do you think that is? Why do you think there's several pro athletes who made more than $1 million? Some of them made $84 million on the court or on the field and don't have a dime today. Why do you think that is? Financial literacy is the reason. Because like, honestly, bro, you can buy a house, you can buy a car, but let's say you spend what, $300,000 on the house. You know you got to pay taxes every year on that house, right? Even if you own it. And according to most people surveyed, $1 million is going to change your life. So it's going to change your lifestyle, right? So your expenses are going to go up. You know, what about maintenance? What about, there's just so many ways to fall in that pitfall that 70% of people who did come into wealth fell into. And we haven't even started talking about a car. All right, so I want to talk about some of the top like businesses, investments that I heard people say. It says we can expect to pay anywhere between $17,000 and $78,000 for a full renovation to flip a home, with the national average of about $50,000, and I'm of course rounding that up. So now what I want to look at is, all right, now I want to look at like the profit that you should make from a rental property. Okay, so boom, let's say we purchase a property for $100,000. You pay $25,000 down. Projected gross rental income, vacancy loss, effective gross income, repair, property management at 8%, other expenses, mortgage expense, which honestly that's pretty low. Projected monthly cash profit, right? So wow, that's actually interesting. I would actually like to talk to somebody who actually had experience in this area and talk more to them about like, hey, if I had $1 million, how could I put it in real estate and how could I be successful? Okay, now let's look at investments, right? High yield savings account rates, right? And we're gonna break that down a little bit. So first, let's figure out what this APY is, right? The annual percentage yield, APY, is the real rate of return earned on an investment, taking into account the effect of compounding interest, right? Okay, so we're gonna use my boy Dustin. We're gonna use his example, and we're gonna do boom, 500,000, and then boom. So Capital One offers you 2.3. Okay, so boom, Capital One 2.30, right? So we're gonna do 500,000 times 0.023. Boom. Now that's gonna make you 11 and a half racks a year, right? And so when you talk about, honestly, when you talk about getting $1,000 a month, I mean, you could realistically take half of your money and like do that, which is hilarious. Let's see what happens if we put $1 million in there. Boom, that's 23,000 a year. And what my final verdict is on this topic is that the best thing to do, bro, is to take that entire $1 million and just sit it in a savings account. Boom, you get $2,000 a month. You still have the $1 million in case you need, and you're just earning on that. So now I want to talk about my people who picked $1,000 a month for life, because I actually admire y'all. What that means, if you pick that, what that means is that you are so honest with yourself about knowing that you would ultimately blow $1 million, or you're the type of person that likes to play the long game, which I respect. And yes, while 80 years is a long time to get that million, sometimes it's not even about the amount of money, bro, because we know the numbers. We know 70% of the people who chose the million are gonna go broke within the next 7 years, right? We're ultimately dealing with two people on opposite spectrums. One person, the person who opts for 1,000, might say, okay, boom, what I'll do is I'll keep my same lifestyle and I'll go get an expensive car and let that $1,000 a month pay my car note until it's paid off, and then I own that car. Because once again, we're going by the numbers. By year 7, while 70% of people are gonna be picking up the pieces, wondering what just happened to them, what happened to all their money. Now, granted, by this time your total would have only been $84,000, but it's not over for you. You're gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. Cause my cousin Jeremy, he said it the best. He pretty much said something along the lines of, bro, $1 million in the wrong hands is just like being broke. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. And ultimately, a lot of our hands are the wrong hands. This ultimately is just to preach. This is ultimately to preach just as a whole, bro, as a community, as a generation, whatever you want to call it, bro. Like, let's learn more about money. Let's get more financially literate. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was to get $1 million tomorrow, I don't have any immediate plans. I have a bunch of side hustles that I would kick off and do. I would throw so much money into my YouTube channel. I'd upgrade all my equipment. I'd probably take my homie Dustin's advice on the high yield savings, but just off the top, bro, I don't have a plan for it, and I don't know what I would do. And I've blew money before, so I'm not any more special than anybody else, and I could definitely end up in that 70%. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. I might do a live stream on this, man. Rico Gang, I love y'all. We out.